But now at 2:30 we present Afternoon Theatre.
The Little One by William Templeton, adapted for radio by Margaret Ettle, with Richard Pearson, Joe Manning Wilson, and Paul Grist. The Little One.
Are you one of the family?
I'm Franca Marino.
My name's Nini, Lorenzo Nini. And I've been waiting half an hour for your father.
Well, he's in the vineyard. My sister's gone to tell him you're here.
I surely must have seen my helicopter.
Do you always travel that way?
Oh, my time's valuable.
Oh, if you came to Greedy on the bus, you'd see more of the country.
For my purpose, it's better to see it from above. I get a better idea of what can be done with it.
You don't have to do anything with it. It's all right as it is.
What?
Go over there and look over the valley. You'll see.
Hey, look, I'll tell you what I'll do. If I get my business with your father completed in time, I'll take you up and let you see your village from the air. You might like to see it before we start landscaping.
Landscaping what?
The whole valley.
Greedy?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Oh. Your father hasn't told you.
Papa wouldn't sell the vineyards.
We've had very friendly preliminary talks.
But he hasn't decided yet.
My company's making him an offer that'd be madness to refuse.
You don't know Papa.
Oh, I'm aware how many generations of land has belonged to the Marino family. I study my project thoroughly. Father to son for the past 300 years. But now there's no son to inherit. So I think your father will be sensible and agree to the deal.
My oldest sister, Antonella, was to be a boy. Then Rosanna was to be a boy. And I was to be a boy. After that, I think Papa stopped trying.
With the money we're paying, you three girls are going to have fine dowries.
Well, I'd rather not lose Greedy.
You're not losing it. It'll be improved beyond all recognition.
That's losing it.
Aha! Here is your father. Senor Marino, this is a historic meeting.
Maybe.
Oh, Papa, are you going to let this happen?
Franco, with no son, I have to sell the vineyard sometime. 1 year, 5 years. What's the difference? The Signor Nini's offer appears to be a good one.
No.
If I accept it, the villagers will be taken care of.
Oh, Papa.
We're bringing industry to the valley as well as modern beauty, and the men of Greedy will be trained for their new jobs. My company is above all benevolent.
Are you going to pull down this house?
No. I've been authorized to assure your father that, should he wish it, this house will remain untouched during his lifetime. You'll be able to go on living here.
It won't be the same. Greedy won't be the same.
Franca, before you get too indignant, I want to tell you what I've just told your sisters. This sale will mean good dowry for all three of you.
We'd be all right without dowry.
So I want my children to start well in married life.
And they're certainly going to do that with what my company's prepared to pay you.
Where's Mama, Franca?
I don't know.
Go into the village and find her.
Senor Marino, this only needs your signature.
You don't think I should read it first?
Even your lawyer couldn't find fault with it.
If there's any fault in it, I'll find it myself.
Mama won't like it.
Mama's wise enough to believe that any decision I make will be the best for the family.
Papa. Oh, good afternoon, Signor Nini.
Signorina.
Are you going to sign the contract, Papa?
Probably. I'm going to read it now. Come inside, Signor Nini. We'll get fewer interruptions.
You know why Signor Nini's here, Franca? Yes. They're going to change Greedy. What does it matter? None of us will be staying here after Papa says. Well, I'm going to phone Luigi and tell him the good news.
Don't be so impetuous, Rosanna. Wait until we're sure Papa signs.
If there's any delay, Luigi might miss the chance to buy his uncle's cafe. His uncle won't wait forever.
The valley isn't sold yet. Already you're buying half Naples.
When you see Mario tonight, you'll tell him to make Signor Mazzello an offer for a partnership in the business, won't you?
No. You don't think I'm going to waste the rest of my life in Greedy, do you? When Mario and I get married, we'll live in Rome.
Oh, what will Mario do in Rome?
We'll take our time looking at the opportunity.
Franca, I told you to find Mama.
I was just going, Papa. Hello, Mario.
Franca, is everything settled, Antonella?
Mario, how did you know what was happening? Papa only told us half an hour ago.
It isn't every day a helicopter lands at Greedy. Half the village is around it, talking to the pilot now.
What are they saying?
That your father's selling the vineyards.
They must be wondering.
How it'll change their lives. It'll change the life of everyone in the village. That's a good thing. Greedy needs shaking up.
Do they all think it's a good thing?
I think they trust your father to see them all right.
I'll go and see if Papa and Signor Nini want anything.
It's
going to change our lives too, Mario, isn't it?
Only in the way we planned.
Papa said the dowry would be at least...
Don't tell me yet. I don't want to be accused of marrying you for your money.
Oh, don't be silly. We talked about getting married long before we knew Papa might sell the vineyard.
Well, now we can do more than talk about it.
Not yet.
But I can start writing letters. The sooner the better.
We've lived all our lives in Guidi. A business opportunity that might seem wonderful from here might not seem so wonderful in Rome.
What do you mean?
I want us to spend a few months in Rome before you decide what you're going to do.
Well, that could use up a lot of money.
I think there's going to be plenty.
Well, maybe you'd better give me some idea after all. It's difficult to think big on what I'm paid now.
I think Papa intends to divide the money between the three of us.
All of it?
Rosanna, Franca, and me. He won't keep much for himself.
Your sisters know this.
Oh, Papa wouldn't tell Rosanna. He thinks Luigi's a fortune hunter.
Well, as soon as it gets around that you're heiresses, all three of you are going to have fortune hunters here with flowers in their hands.
So maybe you'll have competition.
I don't like that kind of talk.
Mario, it was a joke.
No, it wasn't. You think when you have money, you'll be able to keep me in line, make me do as you want.
Isn't it true?
No.
I'm glad.
There's Angelo rehearsing for the wine festival again. It's not for months yet.
If the vineyards are sold, there won't be any wine festival.
Oh, there's sure to be something else to celebrate.
Isn't Mama back yet?
I met her in the village, Cinnamolino. She was on her way to Dr. Gabusco's.
My wife's there?
Yes.
Why? Did Mama say anything about being sick, Antonella?
Well, yesterday she said she had a headache.
Oh, she looked well this morning.
Oh, that means nothing. Mama would sing if she had double pneumonia. Have you signed the papers, Papa?
Not yet.
There's nothing wrong with the contract, is there?
No, nothing. I'm going to agree to the deal.
If your mother's really ill, would it make any difference to his decision?
Why should it?
Well, if she had to be confined to bed for a long time, she might want it to be here, in the house, she knows.
Well, on the other hand, if it meant an operation, Papa would want to be in the city with her.
Oh, Mama's all right. People go to see a doctor without being operated on, confined to bed for months.
I don't think your father's waiting for your mother before he signs the contract.
No, he's made up his mind.
Now I am going to telephone Luigi.
How soon can we get married? We've waited too long. Next month.
Oh, Mario, there's a lot of preparation.
But I can leave my job at the end of the week and spend all my time helping. But I'm serious. In a week or two, the plows and bulldozers are moving here. The vineyards will be torn up. The houses will be raised. When a development company like this takes over, they move fast.
I never thought of it like that.
Well, like what?
Something being destroyed, something that's been part of my life.
That's why I think we should get married as soon as possible and get out before it all starts. We don't want to run over a lot of rubble to get to our honeymoon, Carl.
I want to speak to Luigi.
Do you want to listen to the love talk in there?
No,
Oh, no, let's walk a little and look over the valley. It's a good time of day.
Oh, you don't know when he'll be back. Oh, I hope to be able to come to Guidi tomorrow. Well, will you give him a message? Tell him Papa's decided to sell the land.
That's the news I wanted to hear.
Oh, Luigi. I was trying to get you on the telephone.
I wanted to be with you when you got the news.
Oh.
Here's some flowers for you.
Oh. How did you know it would be today?
Oh, Rosanna, you're not marrying a country boy. You told me Minotti and Fanelli were negotiating for your father's land. It wasn't difficult for me to keep in touch with their Naples office. Well, one of the secretaries let me know that Nini was coming here today, and I assumed it was to close the deal.
Very clever.
I don't like losing time. My uncle's getting impatient.
Oh.
He's had another offer for the cafe. If I can't let him have a deposit soon, we'll lose it.
I don't think we're going to lose it. Thanks for the flowers. Oh, they're beautiful.
Suppose I phone my uncle now.
Oh, well, we better wait till Signor Nini leaves.
But why?
Then we'll know the contract's signed.
Is your father signing the papers now?
Yes.
All right. All right. We'll wait until it's official.
Hello, Luigi.
Good morning, Signora.
Where's your father, Rosanna?
He's still with Signor Nini. Oh, Mama, we've been worried about you.
Oh, why should you worry about me?
You went to the doctor without telling anyone.
Oh, I don't seem to have kept it a secret very long.
Mama, you're not ill.
Rosanna, do I look ill?
People don't have to look ill.
No, I suppose you and Antonella have been making funeral arrangements. Oh, Mama.
Anna, You didn't tell me you were going to the doctor's.
I've been having headaches, that's all. Oh, everyone's fussing because I've been to the doctor's.
Well, what did the Busco say was causing them?
He gave me some pills.
Well, illness that used to be serious can be cured overnight nowadays. I've a cousin who was a pharmacist.
Rosanna, take him for a walk. I want to talk to Mama.
Very well, Papa.
Just what we intended to do.
Anna, I'm involved in a business discussion which is going to change our whole life. In a few weeks, we'll have left Guidi. And in a few more weeks, well, it won't be the Guidi we've known all our lives, because... Are you listening to what I'm saying?
Hmm?
This is a big change, Anna. Does it mean nothing to you? What happened today?
Nothing important.
Oh, usually when you go out, you come back full of gossip. Not today. Something's wrong.
Nothing.
Are you telling me the truth?
Would I lie to you after all these years?
No, you've never lied to me, but there have been times when you've concealed things.
Oh, the whole thing's absurd.
I'll decide what's absurd and what to worry about.
I came to see if I could be of any help.
Help in what, Francesca?
You haven't told him.
I still don't believe it. It's absurd.
Pietro will believe it.
Believe what?
Your wife's pregnant.
Ah, you see, I told you it was absurd. At my age, it is absurd. Now, isn't it?
You told me nothing important happened today.
Well, I didn't want to worry you when you had other things on your mind.
Worry me? I might have sold the land and had nothing to pass on to my son.
Pietro, it could be another girl.
I've got plenty of girls. It'll be a boy. How did you know Anna was pregnant, Francesca?
I visit the doctor from time to time. He works too hard and I take him herb medicine. I was in his consulting room when Anna came in. I can tell sooner than any doctor.
Signor Nini, would you come in here a moment? I'm sorry. There's a delay.
I can wait a few minutes.
It'll be longer than that.
Oh, how long?
About 8 months.
8 months. 8 months? But the papers are all ready for your signature.
Well, I'll still be able to write my name 8 months from now.
Our head office will expect me to give them a reason for this last-minute delay.
I've the best reason in the world. I'm going to be a father again.
I can't see why that should hold up the deal.
Well, it doesn't have to be another girl.
Oh, I'm aware of that.
If it's a boy, he'll take over the vineyards one day.
Signor Marino, we spent time and money preparing this contract.
It'll still be good in 8 months.
But do I understand this? If your wife gives birth to a girl, you'll sign the contract 8 months from now?
As soon as we know. I won't even take time to read it again.
But if it's a boy, there's no deal?
Well, surely you couldn't expect it.
It's the first time my commission has depended on the sex of another man's child.
I hope you have a good trip back to Naples. We'll keep in touch with each other.
Congratulations, Signora.
Oh, you've upset him.
Well, we couldn't make everybody happy.
I think the village will be glad of the delay. People will have time to say goodbye.
Well, most of them will continue to live here. It's been worked out.
Will you stay on in Greedy?
Maybe it's time I went to America.
At your age? A little late, isn't it?
I don't know. I think I could stand a modern America better than a modern Guidi.
I suppose you could visit your grandson.
Yes. Ricky's a good boy. When his father died, he wrote me a long letter and said I'd be welcome any time. He sent me a photograph of his house and one of his wife and himself in their garden.
Why didn't you go when he invited you?
I think it was that picture in the garden that stopped me. His wife didn't look like a girl who'd want anyone interfering in her affairs. And I'm too old to stop interfering.
But you'll go now.
If they pull my house down next year, I'll go. I'd rather go to America than sleep under the hedges.
Francesca, every house owner in Guidi will be compensated.
Maybe I'll get enough to pay my fare. My son wanted to come back to Guidi, but he was never able to. Now I'd like to visit the place where he worked and talk to some of the people who knew him.
A lot of Italians went to the Napa Valley. Of course, they didn't wait till they were your age.
You're suddenly talking very young, Pietro.
Well, the boy will expect a young father.
Don't worry too much about the way he talks, Anna. Even another daughter will make him feel young. I'll keep dropping in to make sure Dr. Davuchko's treating you properly.
After all this time, you haven't forgotten how to have children.
Oh, no. Don't be too disappointed if it's another girl.
I won't drown her in the pond.
No.
I had to wait until Signora Cena's made up the prescription. He said somebody was probably going to have a baby. Are you going to have a baby, Mama?
Well, the doctor thinks so.
Oh, no, it won't be born in Greedy, will it?
Yes, it will. I didn't sign Signor Nini's contract.
That's why he looked so angry when he passed me just now.
He'll come back when the baby's born.
And you'll sign it then?
Not if it's a boy.
I think it should be a boy this time.
After 3 daughters, there should be some odds on my side.
What will you call him?
Oh, Franca. There's plenty of time to choose a name.
No, I know what he's going to be called. He'll be called Dino.
No, it's a big responsibility, Pietro. The birth of a boy in the Marino family has been an event in Greedy ever since grapes were grown here.
I suppose Mario and Luigi are planning to eat here.
Oh, I think so, Papa.
Well, your mother and I are going to walk a little in the vineyard and discuss our future. We'll send your sisters in to help you. Call us when it's on the table.
Bye.
There they are.
We'll help, Franca. Here, you 2 men take a glass of wine while we're busy.
Of course, Mario. You're wise to get out of Guidi as soon as possible. No matter how they improve it, you'll never find the opportunity here you'll find in the city.
I suppose everybody wants to be where there's opportunity.
No, not everyone.
Yes.
You know, if they just flattened all the houses in Guidi and didn't build anything, you'd find a lot of the villagers wouldn't leave. They'd put up shacks and huddle under hedges. Well, there goes Nini. Let's drink to the man who made it all possible.
I hope poor Signor Nini doesn't lie awake all night worrying.
Why should he lie awake worrying?
There's probably a big commission for him on this deal.
Papa didn't sign.
What?
Why not? Mama's going to have a baby. Oh, if it's a boy, he isn't going to sign at all.
It doesn't have to make any difference to our plans, Mario.
Well, of course not. It could be a good thing. It gives us more time.
Just now we were talking about getting married next month.
Because I thought they would start wrecking the village at once, and that would be depressing for you. Well, I wanted to take you away from it, but now Guidi will stay as it is, for another 8 months anyway.
Oh, I'm sorry, Luigi. Means you won't be able to buy your uncle's cafe.
Don't worry, Rosanna. I'm relieved. My uncle was quite capable of cheating me anyway. That's how it is in my family. But this gives me time to look around. I'll find something better.
If we were married, I could be with you in Naples and help.
Oh, do you think I wouldn't like that? But I'm not going to be selfish. When we get married, the best of everything is going to be waiting for you. Only the best isn't good enough for my girl.
You don't have to spoil her. Franca, this isn't any of your business. No, but it's going to be Dino's business.
Who is Dino?
It's the name Papa's chosen for our new brother. Dino's going to have a big influence in this family.
How is Anna?
Doing very well. So well, I was just enjoying Angela's practicing.
Yes, every spare moment he plays. Well, listen, there he goes again. The wine festival this year should be really memorable. The child should be due about the same time, would you say?
About then, yes. Oh, by the way, this is for your wife. See that she takes it 3 times a day.
What's it for this time?
A mild tranquilizer.
Well, Anna's never been a nervous woman. She's even-tempered, placid.
It's just that she's a little anxious.
What's she got to be anxious about?
You.
I'm the most considerate of husbands.
You must stop talking about your son.
Why?
Because he's not born yet.
Oh, in a few months.
In a few months, you might have another daughter.
All right. Until he's born, I'll call him it. Will that satisfy you?
So long as you get out of the habit when he's born. Most of the village wants it to be a boy almost as much as you do. Though a few people will be particularly disappointed if it's a boy.
Doctor, I'm aware of what goes on in my own family. My daughter's suitors are going to be disappointed. Those still have more to be anxious about than Anna has.
You will always find men laughing outside the bedroom of a pregnant woman.
Signora Marino is resting, Francesca. I don't want you to disturb.
I just stand here and laugh with you.
I'm afraid I can't stay.
You're working too hard, Giocchi.
No.
Here and here under your eyes, sure signs of fatigue. You must cut down your work by making your patients well sooner.
I still can't cure them of having children. Goodbye, Pietro.
Goodbye.
Pietro, what do you mean by christening that child of yours so many months in advance?
I just chose a name for him.
I was sitting in the square this morning, and I heard Enzo Baldi saying, I wonder what Dino Marino will do about the lower terraces. It's time they were replanted.
Now, the yield has been poor down there for years now. I've been wondering what to do about them myself.
The village talks about Dino Marino as though he was half-grown already. A few more months and he'll be older than my own grandson.
Did you write and tell him you might be coming to visit him?
I wrote to his wife.
Why to his wife?
Because I knew that if I wrote to Ricky, he'd probably wire back, come at once. I wrote his wife so that she could find an excuse if she didn't want me.
It's your grandson's house.
Yes, Pietro, but he lives in America, not Italy.
Did she find an excuse?
Yes, but it was a good one. She and Ricky were divorced 6 months ago.
I'm sorry. Did she send you his address?
She doesn't know where he's living.
So you still don't know what you're going to do?
Oh, yes. If you have to sell the land, I'll go to America. I've made up my mind to visit the Napa Valley. Someone there will remember my son, Giuseppe.
If you're going to America, you better get used to jukeboxes. Come over and have coffee with me at Badalina's. He's just got one.
We won't have to play it.
No, we won't have to play it. Oh, Guidi's plenty of teenagers to do that.
Papa! Papa, Professor, there's puppies. 5 of them.
What sex are they?
I think they're all boys.
Oh. Well, Francesca's coming over to Badalina's with me for coffee.
Oh, all right, Papa. Does Mama need anything?
No, she's resting. I don't work too hard.
No, Papa.
No. We're not married yet, you know, Mario.
I know we're not. If we were married, I'd have some control
It's
over
your
you.
choice to wait, remember?
It was a sensible choice.
So if you see me talking to someone in the square, you don't have to come up and grab me by the wrist.
It wasn't even someone you know. He was a stranger.
Oh, you don't mind if I talk to the other boys in the village, then?
They're no competition.
Oh, Mario! How can you be so conceited and so jealous? Oh, have a glass of wine and go home. Hello, Franca.
Contessa has 5 pups. What are you going to do with them? I'll give one to each of Angela's boys.
But that's 4.
There's going to be another along soon.
You can't blame me for getting impatient sometimes with all this waiting.
Rosanna and Luigi are waiting, too, and they don't seem to argue as much as we do.
Well, they see each other only twice a week. We meet every day.
You envy Luigi?
I didn't say that.
You'd better stay away until next week.
We meet on the street 2 or 3 times a day. What am I supposed to do? Walk past you on the other
You
side?
can always come over and pull me away if you see me speaking to strangers.
Do you think you're going to punish me for that? All right, have it your way. I'm not going to be lonely.
Well, that's a good sign.
Why is it a good sign?
Do you like Luigi?
Sana likes him.
I'm glad Mario isn't like Luigi. Luigi's being very careful not to argue with Rosanna about anything. I think it's because he wants to be sure she'll marry him if Father sells the land. When Luigi decided they shouldn't get married until after Mama had a baby, I knew it was because he didn't want to marry her without money.
But you and Mario made the same decision.
For a time, I wondered if Mario was the same type as Luigi, waiting to see if I was worth marrying. But he doesn't try and please me all the time. He quarrels with me. That's good.
Oh, it's a pity if you only find out if someone's in love with you by quarreling with them.
Pardon me, is this the Marino house?
Yes?
Oh.
It's you again. Did you find the street you were looking for?
Oh, I'm sorry you were calling away so hurriedly.
You seem to have found me again. Maybe I can be more help this time.
Well, I was looking for Signora Luraki. They told me I'd find her here.
Are you an American?
Yeah?
You've never been in Italy before?
No, but I heard a lot about Guidi from my father.
How's your father know about Greedy?
Oh, he was born here.
Oh, what's his name?
Giuseppe Luraki.
Francesca! Francesca Loracchi, son of course, Giuseppe.
Yeah, well, I'm a grandson.
I'll go and bring him.
Please, sit down, Signora Loracchi.
Oh, my name is Ricky.
I'm Antonella Marino.
My father used to work here. For your father, I think.
Have a glass of wine, won't you? He told you about our wine.
Oh, he boasted about it. You know, he was right.
What work do you do?
Oh, I'm an engineer.
You build bridges?
Oh, smaller things.
Because you might have been able to find a job here in Guidi soon.
I'm not looking for a job. But who's planning to build bridges in Guidi? Well, you can jump across a river.
A development company in Naples wants to build a lot of things here.
Oh, I'm glad I was in time to see it as my father saw it.
He left it.
Yeah, and you hope to get away soon yourself.
Did I say that?
Oh, it's understandable. There's an awful lot to see out there. But you'll want to come back here the way my father always wanted to come back.
When I want to come back, Guidi won't be here anymore.
Well, it's a pity.
You don't talk like the Americans in the films.
Well, a few of us do.
You don't even look like an American.
Well, that's my father's fault.
Antonella,
Did you forget something, Mario?
I forgot to apologize.
This is Ricky Loracchi.
We met before. Well, almost.
all right. I apologize to both of you.
Well, why shouldn't you protect your interests? If you've been one of those films of ours, Antonella, you'd have used a gun.
They're coming.
I want to talk to you,
There
Antonella.
isn't time. Francesca's coming, and I think Papa's with her.
Well, give me 5 minutes. You won't have to complain of my temper anymore.
Oh, won't I?
There's too much at stake for both of us.
All right, we'll walk to the Pines. I'm interested to know what's changed your character so suddenly. Franco will entertain you, Ricky, until Francesca comes. We'll see each other in the village.
You get a wonderful view of the valley from here. Start your day like that and you're way ahead. Your sister said you'd entertain me.
She was wrong. Somebody wanted to see me.
Oh, my name is Ricky Loracchi.
Could be. If it is, I'm your grandmother. I've only seen a photograph. And you were standing against the light.
I didn't have any trouble recognizing you, Granny. Dad gave me a pretty good description.
Well, I'll leave you to it. Sit down, won't you? Franca, give Signor Loracchi a glass of wine. I'll just go and see how your mama is.
What have you been doing since you were divorced?
Well, how did you know I was divorced, Granny?
Your wife wrote to me.
Sally wrote to you? Why?
I started the correspondence. I thought I might visit you. But I suppose you have to be quick if you're going to accept an invitation from young married people in America.
Oh, you waited a year. And the marriage didn't last much longer than that.
Your wife didn't know where you were.
Well, I didn't think she was very interested, Granny.
I hope you haven't any children.
No children.
And no luggage.
Just this.
A toothbrush. Is that all you were able to bring out of America?
That's all.
Have you met the Marino girl?
Oh, I had a talk with Antonella while I was waiting for you.
Did you like her?
Well, I thought she was pretty and charming.
She would be right for you.
I didn't come to Greedy to get married again.
Franca, where's that last photograph of Antonella?
In a bedroom. I'll get it.
Well, I understand Antonella already has a fairly possessive boyfriend.
Oh, Mario, you'd be much better for her.
What age do you think I am, Granny?
I know what age you are. You're 24. It's just that broken marriage of yours makes you look 10 years older. Your wife was the same age as Antonella, wasn't she?
Oh, here. I have a photo.
Antonella is 18.
Well, Sally was 18 when that was taken.
What happened?
Well, I guess I neglected her for work. I wanted to get my degree. Well, if we'd waited until there was money coming in, it might have been all right.
You better tear this up.
You can't tear up memories.
America was beginning to make you very pompous. Oh, that's that.
Well, I didn't know a grandmother had so many privileges in Italy.
Here it is, Signora Loracchi.
Oh, this is the one I wanted. put this one in your pocket.
Oh, Granny, things aren't as simply arranged as that.
In Greedy, sometimes things can still be arranged simply. Put it in your pocket. I want you to have something to keep you here.
Signor Luraki, I want you to meet my wife. She's pregnant.
Oh, Pietro.
We expect it to be a boy.
Oh, I'm delighted to meet you, senor.
Will you stay long in Greedy, huh?
Well, a few days.
No, you don't come all the way from America for a few days. You've nothing to go back to.
No, that's true.
You have to get color in your face, and I've got to fatten you out a little. We'd better go down and get started at once.
Yeah, Dad warned me about you.
Bring your grandson for dinner on Sunday, Francesca. Some of Anna's lasagna. While she's still allowed to work in the kitchen.
Thank you.
Till Sunday, then. Goodbye, Anna.
Goodbye.
Pietro.
Oh, Pietro, you talk to people as though I must lie in bed for months before the baby is born. But it will be just like the others. Until the day before it comes, I look after my own house.
Anna, this baby's more important than the others. It has to be given every consideration.
Ah, you want a boy, Pietro. What kind of boy, huh?
Intelligent, strong, worker, fighter, man of honor like his father.
Then I think you should let me go on working.
What are you reading, Franca?
Oh, just a story.
Give me an idea what it's about.
Well, Papa, in this chapter, the villain has the heroine in his power. He's brought her to a hunting lodge, and she says she'd rather die.
Where do you get this book?
Oh, one of the girls in the village. So he says, you think I wouldn't kill you if you refused to submit. And she says, your evil deed would soon be discovered. And he says, ha-ha, little do you know that a river flows beneath this hunting lodge. It's only necessary for me to lift the trapdoor and cast your body to the surging water.
That's enough. Why don't you pay more attention to what's going on around you?
Well, I do, Papa. Mario quarreled with Antonella because he saw her talking to a stranger in the square. But it turned out he wasn't a stranger, but Signora Luraki's long-lost grandson from America.
Yeah, all right.
He'd been married to a girl called Sally, but the marriage broke up after a year because he wasn't earning enough money to please her.
Yeah, all right,
So
Franca.
they were divorced, and he came to visit his grandmother in Greedy, and all he brought with him was a toothbrush and a photograph of his wife. But Francesca tore up the photograph and gave him one of Antonella instead.
Oh, she did
And
she?
now Signora Luraki has taken him home to fatten him up. Oh, and Contessa has 5 boys.
Yeah, all right, all right. Go back to your book.
Your evil deed will soon be discovered. Ah, little do you know a river flows beneath.
Have you been
this
waiting here
hunting-
long? Oh. Did you just come here for something to read?
Is this one of the ones you were studying?
I often sit out here and read.
Oh, God.
You seem to find it amusing.
Well, it's just this bit about the man threatening to throw the girl into the river running under the house.
Why'd you find that funny?
Oh, Franca, do you know any houses with rivers running under them?
I know one.
Nonsense. Where is it?
This house. Oh, there isn't any water now. Just empty pipes. I used to play in them. But if there had been water in them, he could have thrown her down through the trapdoor in the kitchen, and her body would have been carried out to sea.
Oh, given the opportunity, the rest follows naturally.
Do you think it's funny?
You will, too, when you grow up.
How long do you think it will take me to grow up?
Not long, I guess.
Of course, you're very grown up. You're an engineer who had a home in Los Angeles, and you've been married and divorced.
You're collecting a lot of facts about me.
In a place like Greedy, everybody knows a lot about everybody.
Oh, what else do you know about me?
You've got a photograph of Antonella in your left-hand pocket.
Not Antonella. Rosanna.
Are you a sex fiend?
Oh, it's Francesca's idea. You know so much, you certainly know that. Well, it's easier to take the photograph than argue with
But
her.
it was a photograph of Antonella she gave you.
Well, she decided that my few weeks in Greedy had made me look so much younger, I should be interested in a younger girl.
Are you in love with Rosanna?
Oh, Franca, your sisters are both charming and attractive. But I haven't seen either of them often enough to be in love with her.
How many times did you meet Sally before you married her?
Well, we attended some of the same classes at college.
Oh, is she becoming an engineer, too?
Oh, no.
I left school when I was 14. Since then, I've had to educate myself.
Yeah, I can tell that from the books you read.
You are very patronizing.
Oh, that's a good word for a self-educated girl.
You wouldn't talk like this to Antonella or Rosanna, would you?
Maybe not. Maybe I'm too conscious that they're attractive women. And I'd rather not get involved with any attractive women at the moment.
It's very sensible of you.
Oh, Frank, I'm sorry. Frank, I said I was sorry.
I heard you.
Oh, you'll be more attractive than either of your sisters.
When I grow up.
Yes, damn it. And when you do grow up, well, I hope I'm 100 miles from here.
Didn't you get involved with Rosanna last night?
Oh, I don't know how involved you get with someone dancing in the street to a jukebox.
Oh, you make it sound very involved already.
Well, the kids were having a party. And why should Rosanna be left out just because Luigi was working late in Naples?
Maybe she had a better time with you than she'd have had with Luigi. Hello, Ricky.
Oh, hello, Rosanna.
Oh, I must sit down.
Oh, don't you feel well?
Oh, I suddenly feel dizzy. Late nights don't agree with me.
Oh, you were home by midnight.
That's a late night in Greedy.
Oh, so let me feel your forehead. Hey, you've got a fever.
If you wait a moment, you can get a professional opinion. Is Dr. Dabuska still in the house? I think so. I didn't pass him on the road. Why is he staying so long? I hope nothing's wrong with Mama.
Well, I think he'll send you to bed. We better go inside anyway.
Oh, my head. What's going on?
Come on, Rosanna. Oh.
Morning, children.
Oh, Dr. Dabuska, is Mama all right?
I'm very pleased with her.
You were so long with her.
And I was longer with your sister. Her temperature's too high.
I think you'd better look at Rosanna, too.
Hmm? Yes, you have got a fever, my girl. Were you with your sister last night?
We were both at Bardolino's.
What did you eat there?
Nothing.
Drink?
Only lemonade.
Bottled lemonade?
Yes.
Can I mention something, Doctor? It was a hot night. There was a lot of pretty energetic dancing going on. Well, most of the kids took ice in their drinks.
Why do you think that's important?
Well, I think you were wondering if there was something wrong with the water.
Yes, I was. 2 more young people who were at Bardolino's last night are in bed this morning.
Well, I came up here to find you because Francesca has a bad throat.
And I'll call in and see her on my way to Bardolino's. The sooner I make some tests, the better. You go to bed, Rosanna. I'll come back and see you and your sister when I know definitely. And stay away from your mother. It wouldn't be good for her to have a fever now.
I've got to phone Luigi first.
How are you, Franca?
I wasn't at Bardolino's.
You haven't a temperature.
Don't you need a thermometer?
Not after my years in practice. Here, let me feel your pulse.
Luigi? Of course I was sorry you weren't able to get away. No, I went with Ricky, the American boy. The jukebox was playing. Most of us just danced outside the cafe. No, not late. No, that's why I'm phoning. Look, don't come tomorrow. No, Luigi, I don't feel well.
You're all right, Franca.
I know. No, I told you we weren't late. Oh, I've got a fever. A lot of others, too. Dr. Dabuska thinks there's something wrong with the Greedy water.
Rosanna!
Doctor.
I had to cut you off. Think what you were saying, Rosanna.
What's any telling Luigi what you thought?
You're spreading a rumor. I don't know yet that the water's to blame.
Why should Luigi tell anyone?
Just go to bed, Rosanna, and don't make any more telephone calls.
All right, Doctor. I'm sorry.
I don't think any harm's been done.
You see, sometimes I'm a doctor. Sometimes I'm the mayor of Guidi. As the mayor of Guidi, I don't like loose talk about our water being contaminated.
Yeah, but as the village doctor, that may very well be what you're going to prove.
I thought I'd find you here, Ricky.
Your grandson told me you're sick, Francesca.
Oh, I hoped I'd be in time to stop him telling you anything. There's nothing you can do that an old sock round the neck can't.
Do you mind if I'm arrogant enough to put my own qualifications about those of an old sock? I'll get Panfilo to send something over, Laraki. See that she takes it. This fever should weaken her enough to make her manageable.
Hello, Doctor. How's my wife?
She's fine, Pietro.
What are you doing with that thing around your neck, Francesca?
I'm curing a throat condition.
Oh, I'd rather you felt well, Francesca. Anna...
Papa, Antonella, and Rosanna are sick, too.
What's wrong with them?
Oh, well, they both have a temperature.
Does Dr. Dabuska know what caused this?
Well, he's going to make tests on the water at Bardolino's.
Bardolino gets the same water we all get.
Dr. Dabuska said there were others.
Anna must not get a fever. It could affect the child.
It won't change its sex, Pietro.
This could be serious.
Well, can water be brought in from outside?
I suppose some temporary arrangement can be made.
Long enough to have the whole supply system overhauled?
You don't know what it would cost. We're a poor village.
Oh, it may not be necessary. We can do nothing until we get the results of Dr. DeBusco's tests.
Now, you weren't born here. That was your father.
Loyalty can be inherited.
Go home, Francesca. I want to reduce the danger to Anna by a third.
Oh, I'll come back with you, Granny.
No, you stay for a bit. Wake me when you come home if I've dropped off to sleep.
All right, Granny.
Franca, have we plenty of mineral water in the house?
2 cases.
Don't let Mama drink anything else. I better go through and see the girls.
Oh, don't you want mineral water?
Let's live dangerously.
That's very courageous for an American.
Oh, what do you mean?
Nearly all American tourists in Italy drink only mineral water. And even in Rome, where the water's very, very pure.
I am not an American tourist, Frank.
I know. So you drank that water just now to show you were part of Guidi, didn't you?
Oh, look, do you have to find a romantic reason for everything?
I'm not romantic. I'm very practical. Oh, you realize that if you get sick, I have to nurse you.
Now, why would you have to nurse me?
Well, your grandmother's ill already. So are the 2 attractive women whose photographs you carry about with you. So I'd be the only one left to look after you.
Yep. Well, that seems practical enough.
Oh. Hello. Yes, this is the Marina House. Oh, who's speaking, please? Yes, Signor Nini. Papa's at home. Just a minute. Papa! Telephone!
Who is it?
Signor Nini from Naples.
Hello? Yes, it's Pietro Marino. Who gave you that information? I see. No, it hasn't been confirmed yet. We've nothing to talk about until the baby's born. If you want to make the journey, that's your responsibility, but you'll be wasting your time. All right, if that's understood. He's very concerned about the trouble we're having with the water.
How do you know about that?
Rosanna's friend Luigi telephoned him a few minutes ago.
Oh, why would Luigi do that?
Maybe he's just eager to marry your sister as soon as possible.
Well, what difference can Signor Nini make?
Signor Nini said if I sign the contract now, his company will overhaul the whole water system before they start building.
Naturally.
He's coming here tomorrow.
Well, if the water really is contaminated, he's going to have some powerful arguments.
Papa, if you have to sell everything here, you could buy another vineyard for Dino somewhere else, couldn't you?
I can stand here with my son and say, look, Dino, this is yours. This is Merino land. Your family's lived here for hundreds of years, and for hundreds of years they produce some of the finest wine in Italy. If I buy a vineyard somewhere else, what do I tell him? I say, Dino, look at this fine vineyard. Your family's lived here for several weeks, and maybe in a year or two we'll know if the wine it produces is worth drinking. No. I refuse to dispose of my son's property before he's born.
Papa, the water cart from Naples is in the square.
It'll be there every morning.
Is the village paying for it?
No.
How long can we afford it?
I hope until we find a permanent solution to the problem.
There was a report about us in the Naples paper.
Huh? I can guess where they got their information. Our friend Signor Nini is planning to make as much of this as he can.
Isn't there anything we can do?
The American has 20 ideas. None of them any good.
What's he digging out there for?
He's trying to help. Uncovering the pipes. He thinks it could be just a break in one of them. A tree root or something.
Oh, poor Ricky. The sweat's running all over him.
Take him a glass of wine. Let him put some of the liquid back.
Yes, Papa. You should put some of the liquid back into yourself.
Oh, gladly. Thanks.
In Italy, workmen wear little hats made of newspaper to keep the sweat from getting into their eyes.
Oh, I must buy one.
Well, you don't buy them. You make them out of newspaper. How long are you going to be digging out here, Ricky? What's it for?
Well, I'm trying to find out the pattern of the water system. Now, it was laid down so long ago, there's no record anywhere. Well, it could be just a break in a pipe, a tree root or something. Now, look here. I'm trying to make a plan.
Oh, you haven't got very far, have you? Just 2 lines with bends in them.
Frank, I am not exhibiting this in an art gallery.
It'd take you weeks to draw all the water pipes in the village if you have to find them first.
All I have to do is get myself into the mind of the men who laid down the system.
You want to get into the mind of an Italian who lived hundreds of years ago?
Well, it's not as difficult as you make it sound. Well, presumably he knew his job, and I do know the basic theory.
Did you learn the basic theory at college?
Yeah?
Was Sally studying water pipes at the same time?
No.
How's Rosanna, Franca?
Luigi, I thought she told you not to come today.
She was only trying to protect me. You know, Guidi isn't the healthiest place to be at the moment.
Why did you tell Signor Nini about the water?
He would have found out anyway. It's in today's papers.
You want them to take the land away from Papa.
Franca, I don't want them to take the land away from your father.
Oh.
I want them to give your father a large sum of money for the land. And the sooner the better. Everyone will benefit, including you.
This is Ricky Luraki, Francesca's grandson from America.
Hello.
How'd you do?
Franca, will I be able to see Rosanna?
I'll tell her you're here.
Franca's like her father. They both resent any suggestion of change. That's what's wrong with so much of Italy. The people want to go on living in the past. They're stubborn, too. You can't argue with them. But I'm a diplomat. If I'm going to marry into a family, I'm going to stay on friendly terms with all its members if I can. I suppose Rosanna told you we were getting married.
Yeah, when's the wedding?
If her father sold the vineyard when he said he would, we'd have been married by now. And he refused. It looked as though we were going to wait 8 or 9 months. But this trouble with the Guidi water may speed things up. I think he'll be forced to sell.
In other words, you will get married as soon as Rosanna's dowry is secure.
You've been talking to Franca. Yeah, she thinks I'm some kind of fortune hunter. But the giving of a dowry is a time-honored practice over a lot of Europe. As an American, you probably don't understand.
This is one of the old traditions you don't want to change.
I have Rosanna's welfare at heart as much as her father has. Between us, we'll see that she has a happy and comfortable life.
You can go in and see Rosanna.
Oh, I can't stay long.
Oh, how are your sisters?
I think they're beginning to enjoy being invalids.
Not as much as Francesca. She's sworn off water for her life. But she won't even let her cat touch it. She adds wine to its milk. Oh, she says her milk's a very dull drink for cats.
Are you going to dig any more today?
Oh, I may not have to. Now, look. The bent lines, as you call them, are pipes. Now, look at this one. It comes down here towards the square.
Well, is the square somebody's house?
Yeah, it's your house. The pipes under the floor must be an extension of that line.
Well, there's no water running under the floor now.
I know. And you wouldn't be carried out to sea if someone pushed you through the trap door.
Oh. Well, what are you going to do?
Well, I'm going to explore them.
Well, they're very narrow.
Well, you said you used to play in them.
Yeah, I was smaller. You might not get through.
Hello, Franca. I thought I'd drop by and find out how Antonella was.
Oh, she's getting better.
I bought her some flowers.
Oh.
I carried them all the way through the village.
Oh, you should have telephoned, and I'd have met you.
Can I go in and see Antonella?
Oh, I'll ask her.
You've been through all this, haven't you? Oh, what? The flowers and soft talk. Yeah, I've been through it.
It must be a relief when you get married and things fall back into their proper plan.
Well, what's that?
Old woman settles down in the house and the man begins to lead a normal life again.
You should take Antonella to America sometime.
She's waiting for you.
Thanks, Franca. See you later, Luraki.
Are you going to do this exploring now?
Yeah.
Can I help?
Well, if you mean, do I need a guide through the tunnel? No.
Oh.
Well, but she can't help.
Good.
Now, over here, where this line starts, is an open end of pipe. Now, that's where I'm going in.
Wouldn't it be easier just to go down through the trapdoor?
I'm not trying to make it easy. I'm trying to make it thorough.
All right. So, here you are, in the pipe.
Now, here and here are little screen ventilation grills that protrude above the ground.
Ricky, I know all this. I used to spend a lot of time down there.
Before you filled out.
Well, what do you want me to do?
Well, is there a flashlight in the house?
2.
Oh, that's even better. Look, I'll have one, and you keep the other. Now, I want you to shine it down the first grill. And when I crawl that far, I'll shout up to you, and then you'll move on to the second grill, and then on to the third.
Oh, you haven't marked the third grill?
Well, that's the trap door in your kitchen floor.
I'll do the same there?
Yeah. Now, shine the light down, and I'll call up when I reach it. Well, where are the torches?
Oh, inside. In the drawer, I think. Yeah, here. Do you want to begin now?
Well, the sooner the better.
Hello, Franca.
Oh, Doctor, Mama was wondering what happened to you.
Yeah, I planned to get here earlier, but I had 2 reports about the crisis to write for our authorities in Naples, one from the Guidi doctor and one from the Guidi mayor.
There must be times when you have to write to yourself.
A few years ago, I had to turn down my own request for new hospital equipment for lack of civic funds.
Oh, that's Signor Nini's helicopter.
If your father continues to refuse to sell, Signor Nini's going to insist on seeing the mayor. I'd better see my patients while I'm still a doctor.
Mario and Luigi with the girls.
I'll soon chase them out.
If it's Nini, we don't have much time.
Oh, Papa won't give in easily.
Frank, I'm trying to prove something. Now, just help me get through these pipes before your father signs anything. And with any luck, we may be able to save Guidi for posterity. In other words, for your unborn brother, Dino.
Stop it on.
That sounds like Signor Nini now. I talked to him on the telephone before I left Naples. He's not going to accept any more delay. And this time I think he's going to have the village on his side. He'll have that contract before the end of the day.
Don't you think I won't find it a relief? I found these last months a bigger strain than I expected. I'm not used to letting a woman have her own way. I get jealous. I lose my temper. And 10 minutes later, I realize what's at stake and come back and apologize. That's worse than anything. Having to apologize to a woman you're going to marry, it can undermine your whole future.
Oh, the trouble with you is you lose sight of your goal. For the sake of indulging yourself in a little bad temper, you risk spending the rest of your life as someone else's poorly paid employee. I was born in the back streets of Naples, where you have to fight for your existence. But the moment I found that I was attractive to women, I knew I was safe. All I had to do was marry the right girl. And as soon as Rosanna gets her share of all this, she'll be the right girl.
Signor Nini is coming along the path now.
And now our worries will be over. We can both start making wedding plans again.
Franca's sitting out there, shining a light into one of those shafts.
She's a little odd, that girl.
Hey, now she's lying on the ground, talking to someone down there.
She's probably found a mole. Just be glad there are 2 older girls in the family. Or one of us might have found himself bringing flowers to Franca.
I suppose we do have to count our blessings. Oh, it's Signor Nini.
Any more sickness in the village?
No, not since we talked.
If I'd known you were coming over, I'd have asked you to join me in the helicopter.
I think it's better if we arrive separately. I don't want the village to think I've gone over to the enemy.
They're not going to look on me as the enemy this visit. Sick with bad water, they look to the sky for help, and here comes their friend Lorenzo Nini to rescue them. Hey, now, where's Signor Marino, huh?
He'll have heard the helicopter. You certainly advertise your arrival.
Oh, we're a forward-thinking company. We believe in advertising ourselves at every opportunity. Some of my colleagues already have villages named after them. Confidentially, the chief called me on the intercom this morning. Told me that if I came back with a signed contract, I could expect our next development to be named Nini Village.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Junior members are given streets for exceptional work. I've already had several streets, but a village would put me among the elite.
We shouldn't be here when Signor Marino arrives, Mario. It'll look as though we're waiting for the division of the spoil.
We can go down to Bardolino's.
I hope everything goes your way.
Yes, I'm confident it will. And if I need any extra incentive, there's Nini Village.
Oh, good afternoon, Signor Nini.
Good afternoon, Signorina. Hey, could you tell me your...
Excuse me.
Oh.
Can you hear me?
Signorina, do you know where your father is?
Oh, he's somewhere about... Ricky? What's keeping you?
Signorina, what are you doing?
I'm guiding a friend through the pipe.
I heard your helicopter.
Signor Marino, I was deeply sorry to hear the trouble you were having here.
Were you?
Yes, I hesitated about coming over. I didn't want it to seem that my company would take advantage of someone's misfortunes. But then I reasoned that my visit could be looked upon as a mission of mercy.
I hope you had a pleasant ride.
Ricky, has something happened?
Is your daughter all right?
Oh, usually.
Usually, yes. But I just wanted to assure you that we intend to take no advantage of the situation. The contract is the one you read, and the extra cost of purifying the water and, if necessary, laying down a whole new system will be borne by the company.
I hoped you'd had a pleasant ride because I didn't want your journey to be completely wasted.
Oh, now, circumstances have changed since our last discussion.
My position's the same. I make my decision when my child is born.
Oh, now, that's unworthy of you, Signor Marino. You're putting your own interests above those of the village.
I'm putting my own interests above those of your company.
Are you aware how dangerous fever could be to a woman in your wife's condition? Are you aware that you're gambling with the health of your coming child, maybe even its life?
I'm not gambling. My wife isn't drinking the village water.
Signor Marino, I wanted to be fair with you. I came to put the situation to you first, in the hope that we could settle it in a friendly spirit. Now you leave me no alternative but to go direct to the mayor.
Doctor, will you ask the mayor to join us?
At least if the mayor agrees with me, we can keep the matter between the village and my company.
What do you mean?
And if he doesn't agree with me, we'll take the matter up with the authorities in Naples. We're a powerful company, Signor Marino. We can afford the best lawyers.
Ricky, I can't hear you. If I lean any further, I'll fall on my head.
Antonella and Rosanna coming along nicely.
Well, here's the mayor. I don't think you've met Signor Nini, but I've described him to you.
I think I recognize you from the description.
I assume you're acquainted with our negotiations.
We've discussed them.
Doctor, as a mayor, with Guidi's interest at heart, you must be well aware of the benefits our offer will bring to the village. My company wants to move into Guidi now, and as is usual with us, our first concern will be for the welfare of the people. We'll waste no time in overhauling the whole distribution system of your drinking water. If you take your responsibilities seriously, as I'm sure you do, you can only urge Signor Marino to accept.
Pietro, if you were in my place, what would your decision be?
I'm not in your place. My responsibility is to my son.
Pietro, as your old friend, I can appreciate that. But as mayor of Guidi, my responsibility is to the village. We must have good water.
Is that so difficult to understand?
We have Signor Nini's assurance that his company will make the water supply their first concern.
Before he destroys the village, he'll give it water.
You know as well as I do that Signor Nini can take this to the authorities in Naples. It'd mean delay and perhaps more sickness. I prefer that we settle it among ourselves as a village matter.
Give me the pen.
Oh, Signor Marino, please allow me.
Papa! The American's stuck in the water pipe.
He's what?
Please, Signor Marino, these Americans, they get into everything.
How did he get down there when I last saw him? He was safely above ground.
We wanted to examine the inside of the pipe.
But no water's run in those pipes in my lifetime.
We must do something to get him out.
When the system was laid down, it must have been possible for men to crawl all the way through, but today everyone's bigger.
Doesn't anyone know what to do?
Signor Marino.
It may be necessary to take up the floor and break the pipes.
Signor Marino, I'm a busy man. Is there any need for us all to stand around here like this?
The village has always considered its problems together.
Everybody up here is deciding how to get you out. Oh, Papa, and Dr. De Busto, and Signor Nini. He's offered to give the village a new water system if Papa signs the contract. Oh, do you want anything sent down? He says he thinks he can free himself if we give him a hammer and chisel.
In the toolbox.
Since he's evidently capable of extricating himself, can we return to business?
Papa, Ricky said not to sign anything until he talks to you.
Oh, nonsense.
Well, that's what he said.
More waste of time.
Delay isn't always a waste of time.
How are we going to get the tools down to him?
Well, if someone holds me by the ankles, I can throw them along the pipe.
All right. Doctor, we'd better have two of us on this.
All right. Here we are.
Right.
Yes, I've got her on this side.
Hold the phone now.
All right. Yeah, what do you mean?
Pull me
You
out.
better come back now. Come on.
Oh.
All right.
Oh.
There we are. Did he get them?
He got them.
If we tie a rope to the beam there and lower the end down, then he can pull himself out when he's ready.
Signor Marino, you were about to sign the contract when we had this interruption. You say the village believes in making its own decisions, and yet here you are waiting for a stranger to tell you what to do.
Sometimes we listen to strangers before we make our decisions.
I know where he is.
Franco, we all know where he is.
I mean the part of the tunnel. I remember it now. 2 pipes are put together badly, and a large piece of cement or something sticks into your ribs when you try to pass.
Well, couldn't you have explained this to him before letting him go down there?
I think he would have insisted on seeing for himself.
Oh, first time I was to wait for a baby to be born. Now I have to wait for a crazy American to chip himself out of a water pipe.
I don't think the American will take 9 months to get out.
Ricky? How long will you be down there?
I'm through.
Oh. Papa, he's done it. He's on his way out. Oh, Ricky, you've cut your cheek.
Oh, you throw a mean chisel. You feel my head. That was the hammer.
Oh.
You've delayed the signing of an important document.
Oh, good. Because I've discovered something.
Concerning the water?
Yeah. Now, I read about those old water systems in college. Some of them were built with a double channel. When anything went wrong or the pipes had to be cleaned or inspected, it was possible to use an alternate channel.
As far as I remember, we've never switched the supply in this way.
Oh, that's not surprising. If you didn't know, the other pipes were there. They haven't been used in generations, but they're in excellent condition. Now, if you run the water through them, we can find out what's wrong with the other set and put it right.
You can do this alone?
Well, it's not difficult.
Signor Nini, it was kind of your company to offer its assistance. It seems we don't need it.
Signor Marino, I hope to resume negotiations after the birth of your fourth daughter.
Upset, isn't he?
Pietro, I'm sorry I had to take the other side.
But you're not sorry the other side lost, eh?
I'm delighted. You better put some antiseptic on that cut, young man. Here, Franca, take this. I've got other patients.
Well, Mama must have been worrying about the noise. I better let her know what's been happening. Ricky, I appreciate what you did today. You saved the vineyards for Dino. One day he'll be able to thank you himself.
Why do you look so worried?
Franca, what's going to happen if it isn't a boy? None of us is going to be able to help him then.
Oh, there. A fine-looking animal.
In my experience, boys aren't interested in rocking horses until they're a year or two old.
When Dino arrives, he'll be above average intelligence. He'll want to get onto older toys quickly.
You didn't think of buying a doll.
What would Dino want with a doll?
You've got to be sensible, Pietro. You have a habit of having girl children.
I was younger then. I'm glad you're here, Francesca.
It's a double cause for celebration, having a baby on the day of the wine festival.
You'll stay till the doctor comes.
I'll go in and sit with Anna in a minute. Has my grandson done a good job with the nursery?
Excellent. He's working in there now. He was singing this morning like any good Italian workman. Oh, yes, he sounds happy.
I don't want anything to interfere with that.
What could interfere with it?
A letter from his wife asking him to go back to her, address care of me. So he must have written to her.
But she divorced him.
That doesn't mean she likes the idea that he's free of her.
Your grandson strikes me as being a man who can take care of himself.
Oh, what a beautiful rocking horse. Oh, shall I put it into Dino's room?
He goes in the nursery as soon as the American's finished in there.
What's he doing now? I thought everything was finished.
He got some stencils to decorate the wall.
Well, that's finished. Oh, hello, Granny.
There's a letter for you. From Sally, I think.
No one wants you to go back yet?
No. No one wants me to go back. My wife's getting married again.
Just a printed card. No other message.
Now, that's enough.
Oh, we'd better go in and see how Anna is, Francesca. Don't like leaving her too long alone this morning.
Would you like a glass of wine and a sandwich?
I'm not very hungry.
I'm always hungry.
Well, that's because you're a growing girl.
Well, I should stop soon. Is it because your wife's getting married again that you don't feel hungry?
Oh, no. No, it's a long time since she was able to affect my appetite. Oh, there's Senor Nini's helicopter. Oh, he hasn't forgotten the day of the festival.
He hasn't forgotten when the baby will be born. He probably doesn't even know there's a festival.
Well, Dino can arrive any time now. The nursery's ready for him.
Well, do you know about the ceiling?
Oh, such as what?
I used to sleep in that storeroom, and there's a crack in the ceiling, and I went to bed at night. I looked like a witch.
Oh, I'll cover it with plaster. And we don't want your new baby to grow up as odd as his sister.
Oh, do you think I'm odd?
Charmingly odd, darling. Oh, you shouldn't drink so quickly.
It was something you said.
Oh, are you flustered because I called you darling?
Well, you never called me that before.
Oh, in my mind often.
Why?
Well, because being with you makes me feel good.
Oh, Ricky, I don't know anything.
Yeah, well, I was married to a girl who knew everything.
Oh, I see. You like me because I'm a contrast to Sally.
Franker, don't go feminine on me too quickly. Just little stages,
I'll try.
Now, this looks like being a momentous day for Greedy.
Ah, Signor Nini, are you going down to see the festival?
If your mother gives me time.
The doctor hasn't been called yet.
I don't want to be too far away when the great event takes place. I have the presence of mind to bring my binoculars with me. I can look down on it all from the yard out there. In my business, you come to appreciate a bird's eye view of things.
Franker, it's time to bring the doctor.
Oh, yes. Yes, Papa.
Oh, I'll come with you.
Well, Signor Marino, this time, one way or the other.
We'll talk later.
Well, Signor Nini,
Luigi?
I feel this is going to be my lucky day. If Signora Marino just runs to form and gives birth to a girl, I'll be managing my own business. Fortunately, God seems inclined to bless Pietro Marino with daughters.
I'm just afraid that this time God will listen to the prayers of a whole village.
We saw Franker and the American going into Dr. Zabusco's. Does that mean the baby's on his way?
We hope so.
Oh, it's been too long a wait. I've reached the point where I don't care very much whether it's a boy or a girl.
Does that mean you'll marry Antonella even if she comes to you without a dowry?
No. It means I'm going to think twice about getting married at all.
You're smarter than I thought. You're building yourself a clear conscience. If you leave Antonella, it won't be because she has no money. It'll be because you don't feel ready for marriage. Smart.
Hey, what's that?
Oh, I think they must have poured the wine into the fountain.
I come here with big plans that'll better the lives of all those people down there, and all they think of is getting a ladle full of free wine.
The American and Franca are walking up the hill hand in hand. Maybe he's realized that Franca could be a rich woman in a few hours.
I'm beginning to think he must have planned to get one of the Marino girls ever since he came here. He tried to get Antonella interested in
But
him.
he found he had no chance against her handsome local suitor.
Anyway, I put a stop to it fast. That was one thing I had to assert myself about, whatever the consequence.
It was a little more difficult for me when he moved in on Rosanna. I could get to Guidi only once a week. But when I heard he'd taken her dancing, I knew it was time to call in my reserves.
What reserves?
Why do you think I telephoned my friend Signor Nini here and told him about the water crisis? Franca, where are your sisters?
Oh, in the village somewhere. Come in, Doctor.
I suppose you wanted to be a girl, Laraki, like the rest of us here?
Oh, for the sake of the Marino family and the village of Guidi, I hope it's a boy.
Doctor, does Signora Marino have an easy birth?
You mean, does she have a quick birth?
I think of them as the same thing.
I hope so. I have to make my festival speech in an hour.
That man can't do justice to both jobs. The new Greedy will have a full-time mayor.
Mario, we're going to miss the start of the parade.
The doctor's just gone into your mother.
So soon?
We can't go too far from the house until we know. It's too important.
Oh, of course we must stay here.
If Signor Nini will lend you his binoculars, you can see everything going on in the square as though you're down there.
Yes. We can all go and watch while we're waiting.
Well, I'll just go plaster over that crack.
We'll have to get you a complete new wardrobe for Rome.
I suppose you want me to look like Luigi.
Why not? He dresses like a man who knows his way around cities.
Are you trying to tell me that I'm not good enough for you?
I just want to be proud of you.
With your money?
Our money, Mario.
I haven't earned it.
Plenty of people inherit money without feeling guilty about it.
Because of the baby, we've had to wait all these months, and it's given me a chance to look at things. We've quarreled a lot.
Lovers quarrel.
I don't know. I don't think we'd be together now if I hadn't swallowed my pride each time and asked you to take me back.
I was glad to.
Every time we've quarreled, I've asked myself if I come back because I couldn't bear to be away from you, or because I felt it would be wise to stay with you until I found out if you were going to have money.
Why have you waited until now to talk like this?
This is my last chance to show myself that I'm not dependent on you.
You mean you don't love me?
I mean I'm leaving you. Now, I'm not waiting to hear if it's a girl or a boy, but well, since you want it to be a girl, I hope it is. And I hope you get a lot of money and everything else you want. I'm sorry, Anthony.
Hello, Mario. Oh.
Oh, what's wrong with Mario? He's left me.
Oh, he's done that before. He'll come back.
Not this time.
Why did he do this to you now?
I think he was afraid Mama might have a girl.
Afraid?
But afraid. Go back to Luigi.
Well, if you're sure you're all right.
I'm all right.
Papa, come in here and sit down for a while.
Not long now. Not long.
Papa Dino's being born.
Oh, dear.
Oh, sit down for a while,
I can't sit
Papa.
down. I can't.
The parade started.
You can see the band from the window there.
They're playing splendidly. Listen. It's born. It's born.
Mother of God, make it a boy.
Pietro, it's a boy.
A boy.
You better come and keep your proof.
My Dino. I'll come. I must hoist the flag first to let the village know.
So, it's a boy.
Well, we'll have to depend on ourselves.
I wonder what will happen down there when they hear the news.
They see the flag. They know about Dino.
Dino. I'm glad Mario had the courage to make the break before the baby was born. It would be too cruel now.
What do you mean?
Mario broke everything off a few minutes ago.
Smart.
He's only a village boy after all. At least our love is strong enough to overcome an upset like this.
Never doubted.
A magnificent child. Where's the wine? And Antonella, Rosanna, get the glasses out. We'll be having guests. To the long happiness of your new brother.
To his happiness.
Luigi, Signor Nini.
To his
Congratulations.
And Antonella, take some glasses and bottles out to the yard.
All right, Papa.
I'm glad you were able to be here for the birth of my son, Signor Nini.
Oh, my pleasure. Signor Marino, I want you to be sure in your own mind that you wouldn't be serving your son's interests better by selling the land.
I'm sure.
These aren't the old days, when a boy was content to follow his father's footsteps. Your son may want to be a lawyer or a doctor, or even into real estate.
He'll want to grow grapes.
You'll never again get the offer of such an advantageous contract.
Keep it until Dino comes of age. If he wants to be a lawyer or a doctor, he can sell it then.
When your son comes of age, I'm afraid I'll be engaged in some other line of business.
Here, Ricky, you still to drink Dino's health. Franca?
To the little ones, health and happiness.
To Dino. I must go and see to my guests.
The one bottle isn't going to last very long. Come with me and bring a couple more out, Ricky.
Yeah, sure.
We can get married in the spring, Luigi.
Rosanna, it can't be next year now. If you're going to be my wife, I have to be able to afford the best of everything for you.
I only want you.
I'm going to start saving seriously, so that in a year or two we can be married.
We'll talk about it next week.
I mustn't come to Guidi next week.
Why not?
If I work that extra day each month, the great day will come so much sooner.
But we have to see each other.
Perhaps once a month. I'll try.
You know I'll miss you.
You'll always have my love. I can get a bus in 10 minutes.
But you're going to stay for the festival.
No, your father will want his family around him on a day like this. I feel like an intruder.
Write to me.
Of course. Goodbye, Rosanna.
Goodbye. Something wrong, Rosanna? No. A boy, Ricky. It means the village will stay as it is.
That makes you happy?
I want Greedy to be here, always like this,
Well, even if it means you won't have much dowry when you get married?
Would it matter if I didn't have a dowry?
No, not to me. Dino is being serenaded.
The villagers would have let Papa make his own decision, but they didn't want Guidi to change. Listen, how happy they are.
I can thank your little brother.
The doctor gone? I didn't see him leave.
I think he's still with Mama.
Oh, he said he had a speech to make.
Pietro. Dr. Debushko wants you.
Oh, good. Come and visit us again, Signor Nini. When you want to relax.
Mother of God. Mother of God.
Hey, Granny, what's the baby like? Well,
Your grandmother's in a hurry.
oh, I suppose she just doesn't want to be left out of the celebration.
Where's Luigi, Rosanna? On his way back to Naples. Oh, did he come for the festival? No. He'd come to hear if we had a brother or another sister. You mean 5 minutes after the baby was born, he walked out on you? There was a bus he could catch. He promised to write. Oh, I'm sorry. No. If it hadn't been for Dino, we'd have been married, and that would have been a pity, wouldn't it? You deserve someone better than Luigi. I hope he finds a rich girl.
Through there, Father.
Granny, what's happening? Why is the priest here?
The baby's sick. It's something to do with his breathing. A convulsion. A beautiful child like that.
Papa.
I can't stay to watch what they're doing to my little boy.
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women.
It's over, Pietro.
He's dead.
Yes.
Anna?
She's all right. Come and see her before I give her a sedative.
Yes.
She's asking for you.
She tried.
Well, I think I'd better not go just yet.
Papa will sell the vineyards now.
Yeah, I suppose so.
There are places I know. Secret places. I was looking forward to showing them to Tina. Ricky, I'm trying not to cry.
I know.
I'd gone for a walk. I was looking for Mario. I was going to tell him the baby was a boy. I was going to tell him now he could go on seeing me. No one would think it was because he was fortunate hunted.
Who told you about Dino?
The singing stopped. It was funny. There were people in the square, and they stopped talking, although they couldn't know what had happened. I ran all the way back, and they told me in the yard.
Antonella, Rosanna, Franca. I've asked your father to let me say something. I was due to make a speech about now concerning village affairs. If this can't be the same speech. But what has happened here concerns the village, concerns us all. Dino Marino has left us. For him were the vineyards, which have been in his family for generations and which are the heartbeat of our village. He was loved, and a good life was waiting for him. He didn't give us time to know him, but his life touched us all. His father, Pietro, wants me to ask you not to make this a day of mourning. In Guidi, the wine festival has always been a time of... I've many things to attend to.
Ricky, get rid of that rocking horse, will you?
Get rid of it?
Yes, Angelo, his boy's old enough to appreciate it. A present from Dino. Girls, your mother wouldn't like to see the place like this.
Signor Marino. Signor Marino, forgive me for intruding in your grief.
Life goes on.
Yes. But the position is now as it was 9 months ago.
Yes.
At that time, since there was no male issue of your marriage, you had decided to sell your land. Contracts were drawn up, and then...
And then the miracle.
A miracle. Yes. A miracle, Signor Marino, which cost my company a great deal of time and expense. However, under the circumstances, I know head office will not think of inserting any penalty clause and will authorize me to leave the contract as it is. The same generous terms.
You expect me to sell the vineyards now?
Why not?
Because I'm capable of having male children.
That's your wife's age.
God is always capable of working more than one miracle.
What more could my company expect of me?
Goodbye, Signor Nini.
Goodbye, Signor Marino. I could have brought you new houses, modern plumbing, prosperity. Some people don't know how to live. It was a good project.
I have a good family.
The Little One by William Templeton was adapted for radio by Margaret Ethel. Richard Pearson played the part of Pietro Marino, Joe Manning Wilson, Franco Marino, and Paul Grist that of Ricky Luraki. Lorenzo Nini was played by Hayden Jones, Rosanna Marino, Carol Marsh, Antonella Marino, Margaret Robertson. Mario Speranza, Derek Seaton, Luigi Tone, Ian Thompson, Anna Marino, Barbara Mitchell, Francesca Luraki, Mary O'Farrell, and Dr. Dabusco, Dennis McCarthy. The play was produced by Ronald Mason.
Now, if I may, I'd like to draw your attention to our next Sunday afternoon theatre play, which also has Italian connotations, or to be more specific, Roman. It is, in fact, Robert Emmet Sherwood's play, The Road to Rome, and its action takes place in the year 216 BC, at the house of Senator Fabius Maximus, and in Hannibal's camp outside the city walls, which should perhaps indicate what might happen. Hannibal is played by Robert Beatty and Fabius Maximus by John Justin. The Road to Rome, produced by Archie Campbell and first broadcast in 1967, is our afternoon theatre play next Sunday at 2:30.
And next week, Music to Remember features the BBC Welsh Orchestra, conducted by David Lloyd-Jones.